ps2 mini games.
Hey guys, so another episode of ps2 mini games here. It's been about 7 months since the start of this channel, and the first episode was basically showing off my whole PS2 collection. I haven't done that in about 7 months, and the point is, we've got a lot more people watching this now. By a lot, I mean a few extra hundred more people, you know. So I'm going to do it again. This is about like a 7-month update. So this episode is pretty much me going through my PS2 collection game by game. So this is going to be a very small video, but it's just basically showing you my updated collection, because sometimes I tend to forget to show off the games, and I really should. I mean, that's the whole point of this whole channel, is trying to get a complete set. Bearing in mind while I'm doing this, I'm in the middle of a move around, so there's going to be some gaps in shelves, because I'm still basically deciding what I'm going to go for the final look, because A, I'm rebuilding at the same time, B, I'm trying to get a more cleaner look because I like to improve things, and C, I'm still deciding whether I'm going to basically build more units, because as you can see, obviously the big one down there, you saw that in the last episode, that's going to be the main event. I've just got to basically give it a lot more support, make it stronger, more cleaner, you know what I mean. So anyway, so this is basically going to be going through the whole collection, game by game, and obviously accessories. So let's do this.
It'll be worth it.
So obviously you saw in the last episode, I'm just going to show us off very quickly. Obviously PS2, fully boxed, got that for £40 on eBay, probably the best buy so far. Obviously the blackboard, we're at 1331 at 2230, and the plats I got to update, it's now 101 out of 227. But obviously you saw the PS2s. I've been told they do stands with the small ones, so we'll be getting stands. Obviously Guitar Hero down there. Obviously I've got to basically do the shelves to make the gun more standable.
Already know.
So obviously these are all the games that are numbered. I'm still missing some obviously expensive games like 10,000 Bullets, but there you go. Now there may be some, there might be some games not in alphabetical order. I try to keep it in that order, but sometimes I make mistakes. Like for instance, that should be A in front of E. Those kind of mistakes. So yeah, I'm just going to slowly scroll from side to side. Basically, I started clipping this, but it's going to be about 3 years ago now. 3 years ago, I started clipping these. So it's been a fun 3 years, to be honest. Some of these games were basically games I kept from when I was a child, but the far majority I've got in the last 3 years. I think I mentioned this before. First time I went to CEX to buy a collection, I think I bought 90 PS2 games. And as you can imagine, the person behind the counter was not entirely happy. Took ages to go through them, like ages to scan them. So I started getting a reputation at that point. Sorry. Cats are a vital game, obviously. I started getting a reputation at that point for basically buying a load of games in one go. Obviously, goes without saying, when I started getting the collection, I was buying less and less because obviously I had it. So there's that. Right, bear me a second. Oh my goodness. Now we're getting into the catacombs of the shelving unit. The 10,000 dancing games and obviously karaoke games. I mean, the Devil May Cry series, the trilogy, is still good. Obviously, I mentioned before, the special edition is basically Devil May Cry 3 with the difficulty, how can I put this? So the original Devil May Cry 3 had a bit of an issue. It was set to Japanese normal or Japanese hard, which is much harder than the American and British version. So they had to do a special edition to basically sort out difficulty so you can actually be playable. Small things like that is hilarious. Dog's Life. I think that's a well-known game for it's just truly terrible, but the actual dialogue is amazing. It's amazing. So now we get to the bottom shelf here. I need to redo these shelves because they're not big enough, really. They're just not big enough. The 10,000 Dynasty Warriors games. Then we get to E. Bear me a second, I've got to get back up. Oh, God. Right, there we go. So second shelving unit into the E's. Evergrace, I still need to try that game, actually. The 10,000 iToy games. You know, the iToy is absolutely valueless these days. Even the actual cameras like 50 pence, but they sold 4 million of them, so it's actually a massive like profit for them. So I can't knock it. I can't knock it all. Oh, by the way, from the last episode from the eBay lot, I haven't actually like catalogued those yet, so they're still on the shelf waiting to be actually filed. The 10,000 Formula 1 games. Okay. Need to actually get the God of War like special edition. I don't know why the Godfather got a special edition, but it did. Bear me a second. Right, sorry about that. They actually just started falling out for some reason. So, obviously the GTAs and the Gran Turismos. Now, obviously, because I've been doing more filing, obviously got empty shelves. So we now move over to the main event. So this literally holds the rest of the game. So this should be quite easy for the scroll across. Obviously, Guitar Hero games. I think Aerosmith is probably the hardest one I've played. It's also the least fun because Aerosmith are not. I don't really like them, to be honest. Not my. I need to get Metallica. I think that's still like a £20 game. I could be wrong. Then you get like real random games like Home Alone got a game on a PS2. That's literally a 10-year plus game, and they got a game on a PS2. It's hilarious. Jack's a franchise. Need a couple of those games. Juice is an alright franchise. Kessin was an alright franchise. Aged badly. Right, I'm gonna try and show this. So I'm gonna put the camera down. So you probably can't hear me right now, but yeah, I'm gonna have to get some glue for that because that is the King of Fighters Maximum Impact. I need to glue that back on. Yeah, definitely need to glue that back on. So Canoa 2, amazing game. I should recommend playing that. Lara Croft games have not aged particularly well, to be perfectly honest. Legends of Wrestling games are terrible, terrible games. They really are. Lemmings. This one's for Kachif. You know who you are. My friend Kachif says that LAMA Manager was so much better than Football Manager is these days. It's hard to argue. They were good games. They really were. Max Payne, obviously, 1 and 2. Medal of Honor games, they have not aged well, but they were good back in the day. This Substance is actually quite an expensive game these days, number 3, but it's a big case, so I can't put it in my rack to show it off. All the Metal Slug games. 2 Monopoly games, hilariously. The 4 Mortal Kombat games, they're back in the rack. MotoGP, Motorcycling, Mummy, got 3 games, hilariously. NASCAR! I got real fast. I think I got the end there.
Yeah, we like the track, yep. We got it grabbed in banks and specs. It's like an oval, so we're gonna drive straight and then we're gonna be turned into the lamp.
NBA games in the corner here. The 10,000 NBA games. I just do that. There we go. Yeah, N's quite interesting because the majority of the N games are either NBA, NFL, or like NHL, so like American sports titles. Unamoshi, one of the better franchises in the PS2. Phantom Brave, I've got to try that. Apparently it's quite a good game. There's the Pit of Funnel games. My god, she got 2 of them. Premier Manager, that was alright back in the day, but not very good. Obviously the Pro Evo games. Some of the hardest games to find are the Pro Evo games for like 2011 onwards because they're so... Well, they're rare and they're actually reasonably expensive these days, so it's going to be a pisser to find them.
What a pisser.
So obviously Quake, the rally titles, Rayman, Resident Evil titles. I still need Survivor 2. That's the only Resident Evil game I need. £50 game, so we'll get it. We'll get it eventually. Still shocks me that Rock Band was on the PS2. Something about that just doesn't feel right at all. Obviously, Forgive the Wood. That's supporting. And Samurai Warriors, good franchise, still to this day. Scooby-Doo. There's a couple of Scooby-Doo games that are reasonably expensive. All the Sega games, all the Shadow games. The amount of Shadow games, like Shadow the Hedgehog, Shadow of Zorro, Shadow of Memories, Shadow of the Colossus, Shadow Man, Shadow Hearts. Shinobi, SingStar titles, and the SOCOM titles. So let's get a bit closer here. So these are getting obviously the Sonic, gotta go fast. Spartan, the Spider-Man. And I think I mentioned before, the S titles are the most titles on the PS2. There's more S games than there are of any title. Star Wars and Star Trek, for obvious reason when you think about it. Street Fighter, some awesome games. Really. Taito, Taz, Tekken 5 is one of the best fighting games ever. Hashtag fight me on that, seriously. Obviously, Time Splitters 1 will go in there shortly. I got that last week. All the Tony Hawks, all 9 Tony Hawks games. That man made a lot of money for the PS2. Oh my god, my knees. There you go. Right, sorry for the camera. I'm trying to do this fairly.
Take that!
Elf, Bex Vampire, Beautiful Joe. Let's do that, yeah. One sports. And all the SmackDown games. And at the end here. So yeah, obviously that's about 1,300 plus now games, but obviously the Platinum versions have their own stand. I've got over 100 of these now. These are hard to find, they really are. Obviously, there's nothing special here. These are obviously just the games that sold over 400,000 copies in their first year, so that's how you make Platinum on PS2. I've got to redo that because that's on a slant. And there we go. But of course, my best games, or not best games, that's a misnomer. My most expensive games, obviously I keep in the rack of value. Regular viewers of this channel will know what I do with this. Basically, these are the top 40 most expensive games I own at the moment. Minus what I've just bought. Minus, obviously, I've still got organised, but I still need to find a place for these 4 at the moment. They're probably going to all go into the rack. But obviously, Kingsfield, 4 and Haunting Ground, Silent Origins, all... These are all expensive games. Currently working for the Hacks games at the moment. Silent Hill games, you know what I mean. It's just, I mean, you've seen these quite a few often, like Castlevania, Persona 4. Forgive the reflection of the light. It's a bit late in the day. But yeah, these are all very well made games. I find it hilarious how Def Jam Fighting for New York is an expensive game. That's one of those games where it's like, it's just going to go up in price, isn't it? It's one of those things. But there's a lot of like strange games like Wild Hill Anthology. The Yakuza franchise obviously is amazing. But best fighting game on PS2, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, that's a fact. Well, actually, you know what? There's one I'm getting like wrong. So, what is actually my favourite game out of all this? My favourite PS2 game? That's a good question, to be honest. Need for Speed Underground 2 holds quite a strong sentiment in my heart. Might sound stupid. Yu-Gi-Oh! Daughters of the Roses is another game I go back to occasionally and play, and it still holds up quite well. Cel-shaded graphics even. Trying to think. Shadow of the Colossus is obviously an awesome game. I don't think there's only one game that stands out. You know what? There probably isn't. There probably isn't one game that stands out. But anyway, we're gonna hopefully finish this video up very soon. See you on the other side. Right, so that's pretty much my whole PS2 collection at the moment. Obviously, I didn't show off any of the non-PS2 stuff. That's in the other room. I have 2 rooms. I've got the PS2 room and I've got the other games room, the mini games room. That's where I actually play most of my games. It's because it's set up for such like. Obviously, I play Nintendo, I play everything. So I might go through that again another day. But for now, it's going to be it. This is just a mini episode. The Norwich episode should be coming up this weekend. So Saturday, Sunday, and obviously CX Roulette will be out Tuesday. So. Yes, it's a busy time now for the channel, but I am relishing every second of it at the moment. I'm enjoying doing this. I like doing these episodes. I think I mentioned the Norwich episode. I mentioned other people. I am going to improve my actual camera work because when I'm like out on location, sometimes I rush things and my camera work is not great. It really isn't. So I apologise if I've been hurting people's eyes. I will do better. In the Norwich episode, I did a lot better. I mean, I took my time and that should come out quite well. Now I've got the actual stand. The shaking is me hitting my own stand. Makes any kind of CX roulette much more easier. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of my hands because obviously when I'm opening the box, I'm going to probably try and segment the roulette episodes now. Someone asked if I could do gameplay. I would love to do gameplay. There's a bit of an issue at the moment. I don't have the actual like software to record gameplay actually out of like PS2. You know what I mean? The only way I can record it is like putting this camera next to the television, and that just looks piss awful. It really does. So I'm not going to do that until I actually have the software for that. Also, that costs money. And to be honest, at the moment, I'm more probably going to buy a actual microphone before I buy anything else, because this microphone is not brilliant. It really isn't. It's done a good job, but at the moment it's just I've fallen out of love with it for the last 2 months quite strongly. It's just there while I'm holding off, pretty much. So I'm now fumbling again. So next week I'm actually not here. I'm actually in Scotland. I'm just outside Falkirk. So hopefully the CEX roulette package gets here tomorrow. If it doesn't get here tomorrow, there might be an issue in next week's episode. But I ordered it like 2 days ago, so there should really be no issue with the postage. But you never know, CEX aren't the most brilliant of companies when it comes to postage. So, but obviously the first episode, it came out fantastic. It was awesome conditions. I was happy. Obviously, you find out what game I've ordered this time. I'll go into detail why I've ordered it. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching this. Have a good day, and I will see you hopefully. Well, past me will see you in 2 days. Have a good day.